So this week I'm once again late to the trend. What am I late uncovering this time? That would be Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers, which released this year and is a live action meets animation film based on the classic show with the same name. The film was directed by Akaya Schaefer and was written by Dan Greger and Doug Mand. The film follows the two main characters living in a world where cartoons and humans coexist. Essentially, cartoons are technically now just live action shows that are filmed on sets themselves. That is exactly what Chip and Dale did, but both split up after they had a one-hit wonder, where Chip is now in a dead-end job, and Dale is just one of them B-list actors who goes to conventions promising they'll make a comeback. However, Monterey Jack, an old castmate, disappears, and the two must team up to find him. Since their voices in the show were deemed as fake, Chip is voiced by John Mulaney, while Dale is voiced by Andy Samberg. Jack is voiced by Eric Bana. The two other cast members of the old cast, Gadget Hackwrench and Zipper, appear as a now married couple with kids. They are voiced by Tress MacNeille and Dennis Haysbert. The two team up with a LAPD officer and a fan named Ellie Steckler, played by Kiki Lane. Our villain is named Sweet Pete, who is a middle-aged Peter Pan who never got a gig after he hit puberty, which is sadly what kind of happened in real life. Seriously, search it up. Anyways, he's voiced by Will Arnett. Other characters are Jawson the Cheesemonger, who is essentially a stinky cheese dealer who works for Pete. He is voiced by Keegan Michelle Key. Ugly Sonic, yes, that Sonic, appears as another forgotten actor who is now in an FBI show and is voiced by Tim Robinson. Then finally Seth Rogen voices Bob, who is an old motion capture Viking dwarf from the 2000s who also works for Sweet Pete. This movie was actually kind of announced all the way back on January 31st, 2014, when Walt Disney said they were developing a live action movie based on the classic show with CGI effects. Kind of how they did Alvin and the Chipmunks at Fox. At the time, David Halberman and Tom Lieberman signed on to produce, while Robert Rugan was hired to write and direct. At the time, the plot was originally an origin story of the Rescue Rangers, so essentially how every live action cartoon film did at that time. Scooby-Doo. However, something wrong must have happened in that somewhat 5 years, because by May 2019, our current director and writers were in a deal to replace Rugan entirely. At the same time, they really wanted to do something meta and cool with the characters. David Halberman and Todd Lieberman also stayed on as producers of the film as well. A clear inspiration to Greger and Mand when they first started writing was Who Framed Roger Rabbit, where they took into account the new animation technique that have been made ever since their original film was released. The director's even gone on to say other influences were buddy cop films from the 90s, such as the Lethal Weapon series. Just then added some comedic elements. The director's also gone on to say he agreed to work on the project to its potential of its humour, his love for the original show, his love for Who Framed Roger Rabbit, and his interest in working on animated films. The reason why there are plenty of cameos from projects outside of Disney because he really wanted to do a celebration of animation. However, he did put in a rule saying that they shouldn't add a cameo unless it helps forward the story or is actually a good joke. The non-Disney companies authorised the Disney legal team to use their characters because Schaefer assured them they weren't just putting them in the film to make fun of them. He has also mentioned the reasons of the villain, saying he just likes the idea from how it does exactly happen in the industry. However, there wasn't any intent to make fun of a specific actor. Heck, the original idea the team had was to make the villain an adult Charlie Brown, but they never just because it was easier with licensing, or they might have noticed Family Guy did the joke once already. Another character they also considered using was Jar Jar Binks instead of Ugly Sonic. We don't know why they changed their minds, because we only found out from this from storyboards released by Simon Wilkins. Other cameos that were not filmed but written were Chris Evans, Elliot from Pete's Dragon, Sully and Mike, and Mushu from Milan. It was originally reported in November 2020 that Corey Burton would be reprising his role as Zipper in the movie. However, original reports stated that he was going to return as Dale as well, until they announced the recasting in December 2020. At the same time, Chip's casting was announced and Seth Rogen's appearance was also announced. In all fairness, it was revealed in the trailer from April that Burton would be kind of in the film with Tress MacNeille, who originally voiced Dale. This is just because in parts of the film they needed to use the original voices. Filming started on March 16th, 2021 in LA with Larry Fong as cinematographer. Overall, filming lasted 30 to 35 days. The effects of the Rescue Rangers and Sweet Pea were provided by the Moving Picture Company. They were also the ones who did the animation for Sonic, so when they known they were going to use the character, they used the exact same model they used in that original trailer. We also see a cameo from Roger Rabbit himself at the start of the film. when the animators of the original film was brought back to animate specifically for him. For the My Little Pony cameo, the animation was done by Top Drawer Animations, who worked on the 2010 series and the 2017 film. Brian Tyler was confirmed to be composer and conductor for the film in July 2021. It was then reported that Post Malone recorded the cover of the original show's theme for the film on May 6. The soundtrack was released on May 20th along with the film. Critically, Rotten Tomatoes gave the film an 80% based on 129 reviews, and Metacritic gave it a 66 out of 100 based on 25 reviews. Even then, from its success, both the writers have said they are interested in writing the script for a sequel. To me, this was a really good and quite funny in some areas. The heroes are quite relatable, and the movie you can watch without watching the original show, while still having references to them. However, villains were a bit weak to me though, with having some A-listers voicing them. I can admit the cameos were really fun, but did overhype the film way too much to me. It's overall still a solid 4 out of 5 or 8 out of 10. So overall, that is the making of Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers and my own personal thoughts on the film. Don't get me wrong, I think the nostalgia really works in this film. It can further advance the plot or make a good joke, but personally I think people spammed memes all over the place, making this film seem like it was a 10 out of 10, this most brilliant underrated movie that we all looked over upon in the trailers. But then when you came to watch it, you're just like, yeah, this is a really good film, and yeah. I know a lot of people that like it, I know a lot of people who dislike it. Personally, I just think, yeah, it's an alright film. What are your thoughts on the film, guys? Please comment them down below with some maybe extra facts about the film that I never covered here, because I'd love to hear a little bit more. Because honestly, it's a very well made film. Also, please like the video if you liked it, and also subscribe if you've been watching my videos for a good while. Honestly, liking, subscribing, commenting, whatever isn't really the biggest advantage to me. I just like making videos talking about things that I've watched and are interested in while getting to video edit. But you can admit, as someone who wants to do YouTube, it's also a nice perk having the like, comment, subscribe, and etc. But yeah, I haven't got anything else to mention. I just thought this was a solid film, and yeah, I'll see you for next week, hopefully.
Play Disney's Rescue Rangers game for Nintendo by Capcom. Also, look for adventures in the Magic Kingdom.
Yes! It's hot.